Well, hello there everyone, Ravenstar here. Now I'm a gamer and just like a lot of you, I don't have a lot of space to display and store my game collection. So my husband and I, we put aside one of our spare bedrooms to act as our game room. And we keep most of our stuff inside the room, even though sometimes some things do leak into the other rooms, but that can't be helped. All right, well, let me give you a tour and I'll show you our game room. We did the best we could with the storage in here, with all the space that we have. Here's a quick overview of the back wall. It's mostly shelves and games on the back wall with consoles on display underneath. On this wall, that's my husband's computer, with two screens there. Now, if we had a laptop, we'd have a lot more room. Now, those windows are usually not kept open because we don't want to have sun-damaged games, so most of the time those are kept closed, but I just needed some light in here. So up top here, there's a shelf unit with some games and some collectibles. And over here, we have two very large cabinets. Now, they do look kind of awkward in there, but I am able to get inside both of them quite easily by opening, that right side on that door and get inside fairly easily. Some storage up on top, mostly boxed consoles. And over on this part here, we have a tall shelf unit, but it's on wheels. Now behind the shelf, there is a closet, a sliding closet door. And that whole space was getting wasted, so we bought the shelf. We just move it away when we need to get into the closet. So it's a great idea. We just have to be careful because there's a fan right there. We don't want to wheel it into the fan. Okay, and finally on this wall, we have two more cabinets, metal cabinets. You can buy them from Home Depot or like a office supply store and put them together. More shelves up there and box consoles. And also right here, I have my little CRT that I can test things and play plug and play games. There's a small selection of plug and plays down there for when people come over. Okay, so that's a quick overview. Now I can start a little bit more detail here. Okay, this back wall filled with games mostly. Now the shelves that I use for this are wooden. See, they're white wooden shelves, and they're held up by these metal brackets. And those are completely movable, so that's another great idea that we use those so that we can move the shelves up and down or take some out if we would like to. Got those from Home Depot. And then the shelves that we used for the consoles are the same kind that you would see in a closet, and then some smaller kitchen ones on top for a couple different layers. All right, well, let's start at the very top and with a little bit more detail. I have some Atari games up here on the top, some in boxes. There's a few more over on this side because I ran out of space. But most of these are cartridges, loose cartridges. I have hundreds of them, and I do collect the different label variations as well. It's my first console, so that's very sentimental to me, the Atari games. Okay, after the Atari, there are some Atari 7800s up top, those gray boxes, and some loose ones as well. Underneath there, Sega CD and Sega Saturn games. Not too many of those. Those are a little bit more expensive. Then we get into Intellivision. Television games, mostly in the box, really, for those. They were a major competitor of Atari, so I never had an Intellivision, so it makes them even more interesting to me. Underneath Intellivision, we have, this is Odyssey 2. Okay, the black boxes, there's some 3 large boxes there that have actually like board game parts to them as well. And it's almost a complete US set. I'm just missing some of the Imagic games, Atlantis and Demon Attack. Those are the 2 I'm missing for that complete set. Then we're into GameCube. See, there's lots of space in front of the games where you can store your collectibles too. I like those nice old Nintendo 80s Marios there. So there's GameCube, goes down to about here. And then we have Genesis. It's a couple of rows, not much. I think I have 2 loose ones there. And some unusual cartridges back here. MP1000 games and some Atari 400 and 800 cartridges there. Okay, let's keep going in our direction here. So now we're into NES, just a couple of boxes there, not many. And then all the ones I have are loose. Don't have a huge amount of these. I wish I started collecting these back when they were cheap. Story of my life. Okay, then we have 4 Atari Jaguar games. Okay, and then CDI, some long boxes and some short ones. Sega CD. Okay, and then here, this whole corner are my OG original Xbox games. And they used to be alphabetical, but you know, as time goes on, you know, you buy games and they get put at the very end, and then you have to put them in alphabetical order a little bit later. So it's hard to leave enough spaces for each letter. You can see these end ones are not alphabetical at all. All right. Okay, well, let's move on to some consoles. Now, if the consoles are on these shelves, they probably don't have a box. Okay, here's a Pong clone called the APF TV Fun. Another Pong clone in the corner under the creeper. Telstar. Of course, the great Atari 2600. That's a 6 switch. Oh, my husband made these nice, they're magnets, so I could put them in front of each console with the dates and saying what they are. Kind of helps out when you don't know. We do have Intellivisions. Here's very nice, my favorite one, Intellivision Telegame at Sears one. Regular Intellivision here. Okay, and of course, we have stuff in the back that's harder to see. Ultra Pong and Emerson Arcadia. Here's another Intellivision. I think I have almost all of the Intellivisions. I think there's one really rare one that I don't have. But this is actually quite unusual. This one is a Super Pro system, and looking them up, I noticed that mine has a wood grain front, where all the others online and in all the videos have a black front. Even though my the underneath does say Super Pro system and the inside is correct, it's just it has a wood grain. So I wonder if somebody changed out the top shell or something, or maybe it came like this. Maybe a few came like this from the factory. I'm not really sure. Oh, I missed the Gemini, Coleco Gemini. That's another, well, it's an Atari 2600 clone. Okay, behind this Super Pro is a Timex Sinclair microcomputer. It's really small. And there's a one under the box, right in the box underneath. It's in the box, see? Okay, what do we have under? Okay, we have the ColecoVision. But actually, we'll keep going sideways here. We'll get to the second layer in a minute. Okay, next is, oh look, we have some tokens from all over the country, and also some challenge coins. We like those. Some more perler art. Now this is another Intellivision system called the INTV. I guess it's not technically Intellivision anymore. They sold it. And that was the system that came. Underneath is the Atari 5200. It's a huge system. Man, it goes all the way back. Huge. Famicom from Japan. Here's a top loader NES. Atari 2600 Junior. That's a full rainbow. There's short rainbow as well. Here's an Intellivision 2 with a system changer next door. It's attached. Super Nintendo. That's the other version of it though. Here's the original down here. And that's the other version. Nintendo NES, obviously. This one's really yellow, but I do have a nicer one. In the back is the Atari 7800 and some original plushies of Donkey Kong. Sega CDX. Master System. Master System 2. Sega Genesis 3. And above that is the Virtual Boy. See, we do our best to try to fit as much as we can into this space. We don't have enough room. There's the voice for the Odyssey 2. Make some of the games talk. Here's Sega Genesis and all its bits and bobs back there. Another one here, different version. Here's another interesting Intellivision, Sylvania. TurboGrafx, not displayed very well, but it's missing the back end. Still works though. There's a Game Boy in the box. An original Pac-Man plushie. Oh, and there's a Neo Geo. That's just a controller. Isn't it huge? The actual console's in the back there. and Panasonic 3DO. Now on top here, these are all kiddie consoles made by VTech. I have some, made by Leapster and things like that. And, a lot of people aren't collecting for these right now, so it's a great time to get a whole bunch of cartridges and systems in yard sales for nothing, $5 here and there. I've got all different colors back there. There's V-Smile, V-Flash, all different ones. So quite interesting to collect for because nobody's doing it right now. Okay, also underneath there's another whole shelf of consoles. They go all the way back. Xbox, PS4s and 3s down here. Let me move around. All different colors. There's a fatty PS3, a Wii U, Nintendo 64, different Wiis there. Some GameCubes, different colors. That's another red Wii up there. Okay, these are 4 OG original Xboxes. We have a debug kit as well that looks like this green one that we found in Canada. That's a cool collectible, an Xbox window cling. Time Crisis Gun Con 3. We have all the Gun Cons. Sega Dreamcast and Dreamcast Sport next to it. PlayStation Slims. There's a white one in the back. There's a silver one as well. PlayStation PS1. Very little. Here's a screen for that in the box. Here's an unusual Pong clone. It's called the Adversary. Sega Saturn. The pretty rare APF MP1000. Just have like 4 games for that. Hyperscan. A pretty bad system that uses cards and a disc. Here's an Action Max. It's actually a VHS game system. It has a gun. Jaguar. Oh, that's a Tron joystick for the Atari. In the back, there's a kind of bunch of things. A Wonder Wizard shooting game. There's a rifle back there for the original Odyssey, which is also in this carry case. There's an original Odyssey in there with its rolled up overlays and system. Okay, also an unusual Coleco Telstar. They have triangle cartridges. There's only a few cartridges, but I just have the number one. But you can drive and shoot and different things. It's unusual. Okay, also now back here, I do have some storage of Game Boy games, little cartridges back there. I can get them out. PlayStation VR. Some floppy games for computers. Pikachu's. Some, Pac-Man and Ghost. My Zelda sword. Okay, and let's go up on top now. All right, we have some Atari 2600 games, Atari 5200 games in the box. Those are the silver ones there, silver and blue. The cartridges next to them are VIC-20 cartridges. Also some Coleco games as well up there. Fairchild Channel F games. Also RCA Studio 2 in the colorful boxes up on top of those. There's Lara Croft, Wappy Dog, that's for the DS. A plug and play Pac-Man. And here's some boxed systems. Atari, RCA Studio 2, VIC-20s, Channel Fs. There's a Tandy Vision, Radio Shack, Bally Astrocade, Odyssey 2, two regular OG Odysseys, Atari Systems, Texas Instruments, Stunt Cycle, Power Glove, a little arcade Pac-Man. Oh, it's pretty big. Okay, and then here on the rolling shelves, all different kind of stuff. Pong, Super Pong, Game Wave, that's Canadian, I think. Have a complete set of games. I believe they're over here. Game Wave games. Yeah, it's like a DVD gaming system. Pico, Xbox boxes, just random boxes that we couldn't fit anywhere. The Aquarius computer, of course the Rob, Xbox systems in the box, PS3, more Xbox, CDI. I think that white box is our Xbox debug kit. Super Famicom, TurboGrafx, 3DO, Radio Shack TRS-80 Coco Computer 2. I'll have to get the 1 and the 3 at some point. There's some cartridges in the bins down there. Nintendo 64, things like that. All right. Oh, and behind our door, you have to have space back there to put things. So we have all these great little mini arcades, these little tiny guys, they all work. They're playable too, not bad. Then we have PlayStation 1. There's TurboGrafx, also some Dreamcast down here. So you can't really see. This is just an overview of the game room itself, pretty much. Some rifles, a Wii lightsaber, keyboard for Xbox, I think. My lanyards and dangly things. Oh, up there I've got map of Skyrim. Some pins and buttons, all different kinds. All right. Okay, now this wall we have our big cabinets. A bunch of consoles up there. Over on this shelf, I have a complete set of Microvision games, and that's the console box itself. Some Vectrex, Hyperlink, Hyperscan games. The Mario cereals, one of them's an amiibo. Master Systems, Atari Supercharger games. Action Max games, those are the VHS games. And Emerson Arcadia. Okay, up on here we have Commodore stuff. There's Commodore computer, a printer, monitor our silly printer. Just some papers, yeah, you know, old manuals and stuff that are loose. More computer stuff. Okay, well, inside our cabinet, there's some great magnets there. And the creators of Qbert all signed. This is my handheld cabinet. Okay, we've got most of my handheld games in here. Vita, PSP, some loose ones, DS, 3DS, and these are all the handhelds. You can just grab them, but it's really hard to get anything out of there. But with the space I have, I do what I can. Okay. This big cabinet. Big cabinet here. I have, my PS2 games. They go 3 layers thick. So there's hundreds in here. So that's a good thing about these big cabinets. They do hold a lot. But you know, if you alphabetize your games, you pretty much know where you can find them. So I have some space to add more PS2. Down here, Xbox 360. Still a little space to add some more. Oh, and don't forget to use the space on the inside of your cabinets too, to display your stickers and art. It's in this side. Pac-Man emblem there. Okay. All right, let's go over to the other cabinet. The other cabinets here. Move the chair back so I can get in there. All right, so here I have all my Wii games. Those also go 3 back. And they are also on this third shelf with a little bit space. And I put in front all my Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance stuff boxed. I have a whole bunch more loose though. Wii U games are in the next shelf, along with the Switch games. And then on the bottom are PS3. Well, I just threw some boxed Lynx games because I had room for them there. But PS3, didn't alphabetize those yet. That's another project. Okay. And then, so in here, just a bunch of random stuff. My little minis, C64 Mini, PlayStation Mini, NES Mini. There's some hard drives and controllers in there. Nothing too fun. Yeah, and that's pretty much an overview of this room. It's the place where we keep most of our stuff. Now my husband does have a collectible area in this next room, right here. He has all of his helmets lined up. Pretty nice. I have a collection of Magic the Gathering and binders, and then there's some basic fun boxed little arcades there, and some big box games. And finally, this little section has some of our newer games in it. There's a big bomb up there, Nuke, E.T., Gizmo. Oh, there's Windows 3.1, that's pretty cool. So there's some Commodore games in here, some computer games, some Atari computer games. That's for Baka. There's some Leapster games and VTech games, MobiGo. And then we start with the newer system stuff. PS4. And they go several back as well. And then Xbox One. Okay. All right. Well, that was a tour of our game room. I really hope you liked it. Thank you very much. Have a good day.